Hey, what's good, people? Happy Monday to you. Hope you're all doing well out there. It's Learning Monday. It's when we make our brains bigger together. Or at least pretend like we're trying to. Really, we're just having a bunch of fun with noise and stuff. Everybody have a good weekend? Good afternoon, Saf. Welcome in. Sweltering Maryland. Holy cow, really? 77 degrees right now. Whoa. And Cardio is here. Liv, welcome in. Thank you for the early raid. How are you? How was your stream? How was your weekend? Javar, welcome in. I have been in meetings all morning. Ooh, what is this? Javar is playing with something new. A music analysis plugin. It's a fresh take on spectral analysis focused on allowing you to see and understand music and notes that make it up instantly. This is achieved mainly by coiling the spectrum into a spiral framed by a chromatic circle, thus allowing you to instantly see what's happening musically and spectrally. Huh, that's pretty cool. How's it working out for you, Javar? So far, pretty good. Blustery, Pennsylvania, huh? Welcome in, Tremtias. Let's check out this little video. I'm kind of intrigued by this this plugin. Man, Streamlabs. Tell you what, tasty crackles this morning. What is Spiral?
This is Spiral, an analyzer for music that shows you the notes as they are played. It rolls the spectrum into a spiral, and the notes appear brightly as they point to their name on the edge, like the hands of a clock. I'll show you how using this famous composition in A minor. By just looking at it, you can see all the notes of any instrument, like here you see A, E, D, E, E, G, E, A, E, E, D, E, A, E. The whole point of Spiral is that you don't need to guess notes anymore. It's all right in front of your eyes. You only need to watch and take notes. That was too easy. Here's a real example. Usually instruments have their own color. It comes from stereo panning. Colors represent where the instrument is heard. Drums are in blue all the way to the right. You can see the notes the guitar plays pretty sharply, but if you focus on the center of the spiral, you can see what the contrabass is doing at the same time. You can make the bass notes appear sharper by increasing the resolution, though it makes everything more laggy, and there's no way around that.
Apparently, Streamlabs is doing more than just the basic glitch, or the crackle. This is a really cool way to visualize all of this. What's it doing for you right now, Javar? Huh. Tasty Crackles, your next album. Huh. Just kind of stare at it until it makes sense. Yeah, a circular spectrometer, huh? It is a bit kaleidoscopy. Yeah, Streamlabs is jamming along. Huh. Well, interesting. Very cool. I like this. Okay, let's fire up a blank project here. Today, it is time to learn about wavetable synthesis. So let's update this really quick. Bit of a mad dash this morning. Between this and my other responsibilities. So bear with me as I get set up here. I figure we can probably talk through the majority of this stuff inside of Serum these days, and most people can follow along. I used to do a lot of this in Massive because it takes away a fair bit of the visual stuff. So you're forced to use your ears a bit more when trying to understand the basics in the very beginning. But the UI is just too small for streaming. So. Oh, Javar. Interesting. You got it mainly to tune samples because you can see more than just the root note. Okay, that's cool. Huh. Huh. Who's putting a master, a limiter on the master? And where is this? It's over in the Discord. Oh, FL. Huh. Yeah, I did not know that. I did not know that that was just like a default thing. All right. Anybody open up Liquid Air over the weekend and take a swing at it? Very interested to know what you guys are inspired to make with that, especially as I'm getting ready to cook up some new magic stuff. We'll see how much of this wavetable wavetable stuff we can get through quickly this morning, and if there will be any time left for production. If there is, then we'll dip into some transition sounds together. Maybe even use some wavetable synthesis. All right, so the basics. Ooh, Liquid Air is already in Uncle's newest track. Nice. Nice. Wavetable synthesis. Oh, I think I failed again to put up last week's review of this. I will put that up today. Yeah, so instead of looking at the massive basics, we're going to look at the basics inside of Serum. So it'll be Serum basics. And then we can compare massive to it or a couple of other wavetables. There are so many different synths that use wavetables now. And when I originally wrote various curriculums, there were really only a couple that were holistic enough to really teach with. That's absolutely changed. There are so many now. So we're just going to run through it. All the basics. Oscillators, wavetables, filters, effects, routing, voicing, modulators, macros, global settings. And we're just going to take a look at this kind of through the lens of how do I get out of this what I'm trying to get out of this. Okay, because everyone is going to be trying to make different types of sounds. So it's important just to understand how you can actually achieve the things that you're trying to achieve, regardless of precisely what you're trying to make, I guess. Oh, wow. Trem ties. Okay, inspired. First time you're rapping on something in like 6 years. That's great. Sav says Massive is a good sound design tool for making video game sounds. I agree with that. I agree with that. All right, so we've looked at Serum many times before, but slowing down and actually talking through a couple of the basics like routing and what wavetables are, how to save and create your own, how to manage them, those types of things we don't really talk about all that often in depth, right? So let's just do that. Because these are the things that start your entire sound design journey every single time you open this tool, or any wavetable synth, and the ones that allow you to create your own wavetables natively are the ones that are just absolutely priceless. And Serum really excels in making wavetables, in my experience. And I've got a bunch of ninja moves that I'm happy to share with you. And then just some like basic like pro tips and tricks on how to tease certain things out of sounds, regardless of what kind of sound you're trying to make, right? Okay. Maybe we should do a little 8-bit stuff with wavetable synthesis. We could try that, Saf. Tremties says, quick question, what would be the major differences between Vital and Serum? Well, I haven't taken Vital for a serious spin yet still. I mean, maybe today is the day that we really start to get into it. All right, so the main difference, as what I understand, are the voicing engines and the ability to have greater polyphonic, I guess, ability and control in areas that you're just simply not going to see in other synths like Serum. But again, I really haven't played with it, so I would have to dig into each section with you guys and play around with that stuff. So maybe that's what we do. Maybe that's how we make this one really fun, is we just get to learn an entirely new tool at the same time. Okay, so I guess starting at the very basics, just really quick, I think the best way to describe what a wavetable is versus a traditional oscillator is that in a traditional oscillator, you're basing a sound off of a single cycle waveform. So it's a fairly static thing. And in wavetable synthesis, instead of looking at one image or like one page, if you will, we're going to look at a small book. When you guys were little in school, you probably made little flip book style characters. I used to do it on the corner of my pages in my notebooks. I would draw these like little stick figures, right? And then, you know, as you flip the pages, it animates the different changes that you've made from one page to the next, and it makes it look like the stick figure is walking or whatever. So I kind of liken it to that. It's like a slideshow, right? It's got up to 256 different pictures in it, right? And those pictures being single cycle waveforms. And when you get into a big collection of samples like that, obviously you want to like move through them fluidly and have some sort of an animated result, similar to when you make like the flipbook thing, right? So if you think of them like that, that's basically what a wavetable is. It is a sample that your oscillator is going to play back to you. And as you change the wavetable position parameter, it slides through, or it flips through those different slides, through those different samples. And it's just as simple as that. The ways in which you can move through them, some make them more fluidly played back and some make them more choppy or whatever. In other words, there's different modes in which different wavetable synths can operate in to play back those sounds. If you wanted something very smooth transitioning, then you're probably going to want to have a wavetable that has very small nuanced changes from one sample to the next sequentially. So when you do scan through them at a smooth rate, it animates smoothly. There are wavetables, though, that are very much jumping from one idea to another, from one wave to the next in its wavetable. So we'll just look at a couple of very simple examples and then some more complex samples, and we'll look at them a couple of different ways so you can kind of wrap your mind around exactly what's happening there. But I think most people that have been producing for, I guess, really a matter of months or more at this point have probably used a wavetable synth. So it's good just to kind of get in and take a look at the fundamentals before we actually start walking through real workflows. Liv says, I like ninja moves. All right, so this startup sound right here is basically a sawtooth, and it's a good example of a single cycle waveform. Like, there's nothing that's going to change when I click on the wavetable position knob. That's what WTPOS stands for, is wavetable position. So if you can kind of imagine that at the beginning of this, it says 1 over here, and over here, it says 256, and you're turning that dial up to 256, right? And at every single increment along the way, you're actually looking at a different waveform in the stack. If you are to click on the interface, it'll actually change. Here, I'll make this even bigger. It'll actually change the view that you're looking in. And so this shows you the very 2D representation, and this shows you more of a 3D representation of the sound. And then you can also click into the back end and make edits to this. And you have tools available to you to make changes to these shapes. And these shapes are your waveforms, and you can edit them as you would like in Photoshop or something. So I just made this new version of a wave by clicking in a couple of spots back there. And it currently sounds like this. And if I turn my wavetable position knob back down to the left, I get back to the original sound. So, oops, I'm not even on the right sound. There we go. I was wondering why it sounded like a sawtooth, because I was on vital. So, like, making a wavetable shape and playing it back is actually quite simple. Making something that sounds the way that you want it to can be more difficult, of course, which is exactly what we're going to work towards here. But before we start on anything new, let's just take a look at the next most basic kind of wavetable. There's this one called Basic Shapes, which you guys have probably seen a lot in tutorials or whatever if you've been poking around online trying to figure this stuff out. And it basically is just a collection of sine, saw, triangle, and pulse. So a square wave is a 50-50 equal division of pulse wave. And then these other ones are varying degrees. And then there's also a saw triangle here. Okay, so this is just kind of showing you that this is kind of the next most basic form of a wavetable. So these are very disparate shapes. They are a collection of a type of waveform family, and these being the kind of mother waveforms of the entire sonic experience, if you will. Okay, so it's quite jumpy. You could, if you wanted to, you could click on the edit button here and you could go to morph and say crossfade. And then when you go back out here, you've actually got the ability to smoothly move between each one of these. Right? And it's a really important lesson to remember that even if you have these really big jumps, you can make something smooth out of them. And what a tool like Serum is actually doing when it does that for you is it creates a whole bunch of extra images for you, basically. These transition samples that you're not seeing. The saw triangle wave that was the, what was it, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th waveform before, is now the 256th, right? And the original sine wave is still in the number 1 position. So as we smoothly scroll through the wavetable position, we kind of hear what it would sound like to move through those things a little smoother. And the 3D view then gives you a slightly different perspective in all of that, allowing you to kind of see the space in between each of those waveforms that are making up your wavetable. And you'll notice that there's this kind of shadow area between each where the transitions are actually, the crossfades are actually taking place. And if we were to load up a more busy wavetable, you might see that there's even more waveforms in it. So this one has a whole bunch of waves in it. And you can see that it gets quite detailed in the contours. So if we were to listen to a sound like this, and a good wavetable stands up at different octaves in different ways. Some really interesting things. And this is called FM splat. Now, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can tune into in the naming of people's wavetables, but usually they're giving you an idea of the things that went into making the wavetable. And we'll come back to that here in a bit when we actually talk about making the wavetables from scratch. But hopefully this is making sense to everyone. The concept of stacking up all of these different waveforms the same way you would slides in a projector, or you know, tracks in a playlist, or however you want to think about this. This is your selector for those individual samples. And then there's just a myriad of ways in which you can morph those things together so they can move through the samples and play something more animated easily. Okay, so getting back to just the basics of the synth, like the common workflow of a wavetable synth and the routing involved with all of it. There's usually some form of voicing control right there on the oscillator. And, you know, your detune, your blend, your unison, phase, random, all of these things have to do with the delivery of the sounds that are being served up from the wavetable. That's really all this is. So this bottom row of controls here, the wavetable is your sample selector, pan is left, right, balance control, and level is your amplitude. Detune and blend are going to actually do something if you have more than one voice. Okay, this is your unison voicing. So this is the voices that are pertaining to just this one oscillator. The phase and the random. Now this has to do with the, we're going to click back to the other view here so we can actually see the phase position indicator here. When in its default position, it's actually starting in the middle of a waveform. A lot of people don't even realize that. It's starting right in the middle of a waveform. If you want to start something at the very beginning of the waveform for a specific reason or another spot, then just dial it back there. And the next thing you have to do is pull the random back. So this is 100% random, and this is not random at all. So if you want your sample to be starting from a very specific point, then you can do that. If you want a little bit of analog play, you know, it might pick up in a different place than you left off or something, then you do have pretty great control. So anyway, here's what voicing sounds like. We'll go down here. Okay, so with one voice, it's in the center. So a lot of times when you're making like a really heavy bass, like a very focused bass, it'll be just a single voice. And oftentimes when you're going for like something really spread out, you're going to go up more in voices, and it's going to spread out voices, as you can hear, which are iterations of that initial sound, of that original sound. If we were to bring back our detune and our blend, all of a sudden we're back to what we were hearing with just a unison of one, just a single voice. So playing different voices really doesn't do anything for you until you begin to make a difference between them. And once you create a difference between them, you can start to hear them in a more like chorus type fashion, right? All right, so really basic stuff. And then you've got this morph feature. Okay, so this morph function here, or this warp function here, allows you to do things like FM synthesis. You can modulate the frequency of this wave by a second wave. You can change the shape of the waveform itself. If we go into, say, mirror, look at what happens. The center point kind of folds in on itself, and you're kind of stretching back and forth. If we go back toward a more simple waveform, and we turn off mirror, you'll see a sine wave turns into something pretty wild when you flip its image like this. It's like looking in a mirror. And originally it sounded like this. So you can do a lot. You can do a lot just within the oscillator panel. And then the going back to the initial analogy of the flipbook, and the reason you make a flipbook is because you want to animate things, right? The reason why we have a wavetable isn't just to make it easy to have more samples in your oscillator that you can pick from, but to actually animate them. So that's where the modulation comes in. Something like Soun makes it really easy because you can just drop an LFO on something and it's just going to start moving this thing. So this LFO is moving kind of quickly. Maybe I'll bring this down, and now it's modulating this more slowly. So that's kind of like the main thing about wavetable synthesis, right? It's like create some kind of living sound easily, because you can animate the actual waveform that you're building everything from. So at the very core of the sound, there's movement. Okay, so we're going to just flip over to chat really quick and see if anybody has any questions here. Hey, sign out. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Yeah, you haven't been on in a while. How are you? Hey, Nate's here. What's up, Nate? How are you? Okay, so the blend is going to control the balance of the center or the middle and the sides of your sound. Okay, so detuning is what's going to create the difference between the voices in regards to your tuning. And then blend is going to give you management control over the center and the sides of your sound. So if you still want something to be like really detuned or whatever, but you want that stuff on the sides to be really minimal, and you really do want it to maintain some focus still, you can do that. Oh my gosh, Streamlabs. Stop. Yeah, so you can just hear like just the amount of stuff that you can get done with just your waveform and movement before you even touch the rest of your synth is actually pretty profound. Like when you stop and think about what you're hearing, it's a really incredible thing. And then the fact that you can influence those things even more with a separate warp function, and you're still within just the initial oscillator, and you have the entire architecture of your synth still available to you. It's just it's pretty awesome. All right, let's do another really kind of drastic one. This flip one is kind of interesting. Watch what happens. Let's just put something on there for a second. Saf was saying, hey, what about some 8-bit type stuff? You can get some really cool, interesting stuff just by playing with the absolute basics. Yeah. Anyway, so the warp function allows you to alter your waveform in various ways, and once you get past this mirror, it becomes more interesting because you've got remap, which is what allows you to actually draw in your own waveform or wave shapers, right? So let's say you want this very, very specific thing to be happening to your sound or to your waveform when you turn this knob like this, and all of a sudden you end up with that image that you just drew over here becomes a massive influence over here. And once you realize this, like once you have control over the cause and effect with these different tools here, you can largely eliminate a lot of what you have been doing through like these really complex, processes with plugins and whatnot, or effects, which then can make it harder for those things to get mixed and like stand upright in a mix later. Anyway, you can do a lot of that with just the waveform itself, and then you can start massaging it with your filters and effects, right? And start building some macros and stuff. So yeah, flip is pretty cool. Oh, Nate, it's good to see you, homie. Yeah, it's these little things. It's the things like modes in your waveform editor, your morph modes, right? These guys here. There's also these processes that you can run. There's a lot of stuff in just the oscillator panel here before you get into everything else. That's the real kind of life-changing stuff, right? The stuff that is what wavetable synthesis is really all about, kind of stuff. That's what you find in this little container here in this panel. And there's just this kind of endless magic. The fact that you can make a shape like this, that's great, right? You can do even more with this though. You can save this And the fact that you can save this is great, right? There's reasons why you might want to save this. Let's just say we're going to call this, what are we going to call this? Claw spiky or something, claw spike. It looks kind of claw-like on one side and spiky on another. Let's put this into, oops. I guess we'll just put it in here right now. Okay, so I've got this new shape in here. So if I want to load that up over here in a different tool or a different oscillator, I can go find it. I think I accidentally put that into the wrong spot. The hell is it? We will find it. It's supposed to be right there. Weird. All right, well, let's go through that save process again really quick. So it looks like maybe it didn't save. Okay, so I would like to save it. Oh, it's really not showing my folders. So it's experiencing some kind of weird glitch. Anyway, you can save your presets normally, and then you can recall them in different areas, and you can here, this is kind of like a wild thing here. Let's see if we can. We've made this shape up here. We can bring this down as an LFO shape now. Oh wait, hold on a second now. Did I choose the wrong one? Wavetable A to LFO. Why is that not saving? Oh, probably because I didn't save it. Hang tight. I'm going to render oscillator A warp really quick. Okay, this is our warp down here. Okay, and now that I've done that, I can actually send that. Oh, it's still not working. I found two little weird buggy things. That's really strange. I wonder if it's just that. Hang tight with me for just a second. I'm just gonna, let's do a sync. And we'll turn this up. And we're going to Wavetable A. It's still not working? Interesting. Now that one worked. Okay. Maybe it's not a bug. Maybe it's just been switched to only renders are allowed to be sent down here. Anyway, there's this crazy, like unbelievable world of workflows that you can unlock just building stuff inside of your oscillator windows and then populating your LFO library with those shapes. Just absolute wonderful stuff that you can do with this thing. It's really crazy. So anyway, the sound that you make in this oscillator right here then moves on to the filter. And the filter's got a bunch of stuff. Each synth is going to be different, but you can modulate those things too, right? There's going to be an envelope that controls the amplitude, and then there's going to be envelopes and LFOs that you can freely assign to everything else. Serum is really great for that. So are all of the other modern wavetable synths. And then there's the effects panel, which allows you to further process your sound, right? There's usually some sort of a routing matrix for you to utilize. This is best used when you can't access all of the parameters that you want to manipulate. You can usually pull those up in the matrix grid. And then global is where you have some settings that will influence the behavior or processes in the entirety of your synth experience, rather than just like oscillator to oscillator. Yeah, no, Streamlabs is absolutely doing it, Javar. I don't know if you guys saw this before, but if I click play inside of the DAW, I was reading some stuff from other users about this as well. But there's random sample rate changes happening. I'm not sure exactly what part of the Streamlabs engine is doing this, but it has something to do with time codes, is what people have figured out so far. I don't know. They've added a layer of complexity, which is messing some stuff up. But it seems like people smarter than me are starting to figure out some workarounds. So. Oh man, wouldn't that be great? Paul, if you could have parts of Serum for your modular rig, would it just be the oscillator that you'd want? Yeah, Nate, you're on PC. Yeah, they developed a magic button, from what I understand, for PC users that basically just says detect optimum settings or something like that, and then it does the stuff for you if you ever do encounter any issues. Yeah, it's just Mac users right now, and it's only the last couple most recent operating systems that people are really experiencing it with. So, and I've largely avoided it until recently. Okay, so getting back to the wavetable component of this, right? In my opinion, I feel like it's really important to have a whole bunch of wavetables that you're really familiar with, because you can go to them and get out of them whatever you need very, very quickly. The wide range of things that you can do to a sound once you've already gotten it to the point that you need it to get to or close to, they're almost infinite in a tool like this. So I kind of err on that side of like, let's go with waveforms and wavetables that you're really familiar with. So you don't have to do the hunt and peck game, trying to find something that you feel is close, and then you're trying to move it in the direction of where you want it to be instead of where it is. And it's just kind of a struggle, right? So to me, it's kind of better to have some kind of core elements to work with. So let's just do that really quick. I'm gonna start from a brand new patch. And what we're going to do is just make a few super basic waveforms, and that's it. Let's do mini shapes, basic shapes. And I'm just taking this one waveform here. We'll just start with the sine wave. So I'm actually even going to come in here and I'll just remove all of these other waveforms in here. So it's just the sine wave now. And you're thinking to yourself, well, what in the world are you going to put in? Like, how are you going to make something if you only have one waveform in there, right? Well, let's use the warp knob here, actually. And let's use another oscillator. Let's go down an octave. And we're just going to turn the audio down, the level all the way down on this one. So this is a sawtooth waveform. When I press a key over here, I'm just going to hear the sine wave. And that's it. So I'm then going to, let's do an FM. So this is going to frequency modulate this waveform based upon the oscillation of this panel over here. Maybe we'll go up to 50%. And let's do this LFO over here. We'll just put this into an envelope mode. And we'll trigger it. We're going to bring this up to 50%. And then we're going to hit play. We're gonna hold down a key. Okay, so it's giving us this totally different sound. And there's a couple of things that we could do here. We can say render oscillator A warp. That's exactly what we're going to do here. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to use resample because of it being FM. We could do that with other warp functions, but we're going to use render really quick. Or resample, I mean. And what that's going to do is it's going to actually play this sound. It's going to record it to your RAM, basically. And it's going to create an audio file of that. And then it's going to post that audio file here and replace the waveform that you just saw. Now, the sine wave. So we're going to turn off our warp function now. And as we now roll through our wavetable position, we're going to be scrolling through this. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I'm sorry. I know why that's a little weird. We're going to go back. I kept that at a 1/4 note. Basic shapes. I guess till I haven't done the curriculum in a bit. The absolute basics. All right, back here. Got a sine wave. We're going to FM from B. We're going to go up to 50%. Over here, I'm going to bring this down to a bar. So it's going to take one whole bar for this modulation to occur. And now I'm going to render that. Before it was just a 1/4 note, so it happened very quickly. Okay, so I'm going to turn off our warp mode over here and listen back to this. There we go. There's the tone we were waiting for. Still doesn't seem right. Let's try this again. Let's just go with a basic. We're going to do a bend. We're going to modulate this all the way up as an envelope. We're going to set this to a bar. I'm going to come over here to menu, and I'm going to render oscillator A warp. Okay, so now I'm just going to turn off our warp. And now when I turn my wavetable position, this is actually working now. I'm obviously missing a step with the render, or the resample, I mean. So what that did, it took a single waveform and it created a whole series up to 256 contiguous samples. So as you turn this knob now, you're moving through the entirety of the modulation range of that warp, right? So you were able to just kind of create this thing. And now if you come up here and click this little disk icon, you can save your own stuff. So here, we'll just put this into a new folder and call it, this is learning. And we'll just call this Sine Bend Plus, I believe it was. Yeah, Sine Bend Plus. And you'll see that it's a wave file that's loaded in here, which means you can also load wave files into here. Right, this is basically just a sampler now at this point. Now, as you go through and you start saving your own wavetables, that means that you can load them, obviously, in other oscillators like this. See, there's our wavetable. We can make alterations to it, save it again. Anyway, that process is now saved and you can just load it as a wavetable. And you can just kind of imagine the many, many different things that you can do to make this more interesting. Yeah, seriously, Saf. I fear I'm gonna have to like take a day off just to reset up all of this stuff. It's very aggravating. I really wish they would just flip and fix it. I mean, this is so much worse than it was last week. All right, so let's just take this one step further and see what else we can do with this. How about a mirror? Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to, this is being modulated right now. We're going to render this. Okay, and we're going to turn this off. And now as we turn our wavetable position, we've got this whole thing happening. So we can save this. And this is going to be sine bend plus mirror. So many different things that we can do. There's this whole there's the difference between render and resample. Now you can resample what we just did as well. And what that's going to do is, as I explained it before, is it's going to record to audio, and you're going to see that new audio file be put auto-magically back into the same oscillator. It's going to kind of hot swap out what you had in there before. Now, since it's rendered audio, means that you can actually take advantage of the effects rack too. So you can start manipulating this thing well beyond the range of just that oscillator panel when you're using the resample function. So it becomes something else entirely at that point. Okay, so let's take this one waveform. Let's put our modulator over here now. Let's up our unison just a bit and keep this fairly center focused. Bring in our detuning. Oh, come on, Streamlabs. You can do this. I told you guys they sent me some stuff in the mail last week. Streamlabs. Policy. Oh, I just like the wave with the pill, the -T from Zamaris. What's up, Zamaris? How are you doing? Paul's saying Dave Roslam's Z-plane filters are the wavetable analogy applied to families of filter curves. Like a wavetable of a paragraphic EQ. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that, Javar. Maybe I should return the Streamlag swag with a note. Yeah, yeah. I've been thinking that very thing. Yeah, exactly. They're morphing between two or more filter curves. Exactly. So it's very much akin to like what we're seeing here. All right, so we've got this whole thing happening here. You can do some really twisted stuff here next. You can say, okay, I'm going to turn on this sub, and I'm going to bring this down 1 octave, or maybe 2 octaves. Let's get low and grumbly. We're going to take the level down on this. We're going to FM from the sub oscillator, and let's go like 50% again. So I'm just going to hit play, or I'm going to hit a note here. Come on. So some wild stuff, right? All right, let's go to maybe like 35% and see what that sounds like. Whew. Okay, now we could send that out over to this other oscillator over here. We can resample to oscillator B. I don't think it will carry over all of the FM stuff if we render. I think we actually have to resample. So let's do that and see if it does this properly. Okay, now this one actually did it properly. I'm not sure why oscillator A wasn't doing it right before, but let's just listen back to what this wavetable sounds like over here. Whoa, okay, it's wild and crazy. I want to see it in 3D view too. Whoa, look at that thing. Okay, we're going to let's save it first. So this is going to be sine bend plus mirror FM. Sine. Obviously these things need better names, but this right here is a really good way for you to kind of remember what it might be. All right, so we've got this sound here, right? And we can scan through the wavetable position. And it sounds crazy. What if we morph these things though? Okay, so we've got sample 1 through sample 256. And we can morph. Let's do a spectral. Let's just do a basic spectral for now. And we're going to go back here. Whoa! Whoa, okay, that's a pretty wily one. Wild stuff. So anyway, it's actually really quite simple to start saving these really, really interesting waveforms. You guys want to see what happens when you take something that's really, really complex and then you process it and stuff? And get kind of wacky. Let's bring this up to like a 3 maybe. And let's add maybe just a little bit of tube. And let's do some compression. Let's do OTT and make it all pretty weird. All right, so we've got a filter mod on there. Let's also do a, let's do one last thing to this. We'll just put a, one more filter on, and all right, and we're just going to do like a little kind of flutter thing. I'm intentionally making this thing quite busy. All right, we're going to come over here now. Just going to remove all of our modulators here, and we are going to resample all of that to oscillator A. Okay, so now we're going to turn off oscillator B, and we're just going to kind of scan through this and see what this sounds like. We're going to go back down to one voice here, and we're going to make sure that this is off. So this is our sound. Oops, let's take this off. And we'll turn off these. Okay, so back to just the wavetable now. And if you look at this through the 3D, you can actually see where that square wave modulation was. It's kind of chopped up these sections of the audio, right? So you can start to make sense of like the cause and effect, like what is actually being recorded and why does it sound like a hot mess? Why does it look the way that it does? If we were to go through basically that same thing, but without all the FM, without the effects processing, and we add some kind of rhythmic thing, we would actually get a pretty useful wavetable, and it wouldn't be this kind of hot mess haystack. And then we could apply the processing that we want, and it would sound good again. So the reason why is because of the complexity. It all comes back to the complexity. So this is absolutely kind of one of those less is more kind of scenarios. You want to pick and choose the types of things that you're going to render or resample into your oscillators, and just make sure the type of functions at the rate that they are occurring, that they all make sense to an oscillator, right? Like that they're actually going to translate to something that's useful, right? So let's just do that. It actually only takes a few seconds. Instead of slowing everything down, we'll just work at a normal rate this time. So I'm going to say we're going to have a sine wave. I'll click over here so you can see that. And I do believe that the first thing we did was a bent plus. Okay. And we did something like this. And then we rendered it. And then I took and went into a mirror and rendered that again. Oh, and these are quarters. Oops, I should have changed that to a bar. So we're going to render that again. Actually, I should do that from scratch. Okay, cool. So we've got bend plus. We've got one bar modulating the entire thing. We will render. And now we will go to mirror and we will render this. Okay. So now we've got those two things. Now we can run that through a filter, just like I was doing before. And this can have its own LFO, just like it did before. And we'll set this to a unipolar, something like this. And it was a square wave. We can just load up a square wave from here. And we had it on quarter notes. And then we resampled. So I'll just do that right now. Resample into oscillator B. Okay, so what we built is actually right here now. And if I click on this, we'll see that these are the square wave modulation intervals in here. Let's just listen back and see what we made. Let's modulate through with this LFO here. Oh my gosh, the skipping. Oh, let's turn off the filter. Isn't that wild? You can have like the pulse modulation built into the waveform itself. So the difference between render and resample actually is providing you a truly profound amount of control over what you can produce with this thing and then how you can go back and use it. It's just that you want to be aware of what those functions are actually doing. And when you're using the resample function, you literally are recording the output of the synth. And it's going to be for 1 bar. So you want your modulation to be set to 1 bar, or your main modulation that you're trying to capture, that you want to kind of work seamlessly with your wavetable engine. And just kind of remember that if anything time-based is happening, it's going to probably mess this thing up, right? You put reverb or delay or something like that into something that's already complex, it's going to be kind of a hot mess as a wavetable. But if you keep everything really clean and tight, then you're probably going to get a fairly useful wavetable that you can then process in those same ways to get those results. So, hey, Nate, you take care. Becky, welcome in. Did I see Roku too? Yep, Roku. Vital, we were just talking, Vital. Roku, yes, yes, yes. Huh. Yeah, you know, isn't that weird, Samaritz? What also is weird is that I can, it's a mux thing. I can bounce samples right now, and those samples will be totally fine. The audio that I was bouncing last week when this was happening, after the Streamlabs update, the audio was fine. My voice isn't being touched, but everything that runs through any of the audio devices is. It's just absolutely astounding. It's just absolutely astounding. It's shocking to me that they've allowed this to go on as long as they have. Samaritan, I'm watching the brain work here. Granular tables, modular granular presets, modulate. Becky, how are things? The old Muxer chestnut. Yeah, right. Oh, hey, you bet. I just noticed actually when I was typing in the link this morning that there's a DM there from you. Maybe that's what it's about. I'm glad that it helped. It was good to hear some stuff from you. Seriously, are you serious right now? Becky, that makes me so happy to hear. Roku is asking, could it be the 44 versus 48 people were having issues with it? It could be. I could switch it back again. I feel like I've gone back and forth a few times. I followed this one, it seemed very silly, workflow of kind of toggling stuff back and forth several times and restarting, but doing it in this order, kind of like a cheat code, right? And I had no pops or clicks on Streamlabs for some time, like, I don't know, half a day, something like that. So there's something on there. People have been tracking the fact that the sample rate in Streamlabs is not static, like it's changing. And that's obviously a big problem. But hey, yeah. Oh, Becky, that makes me so happy to hear. That's wonderful. I'm glad you're feeling better. That's really awesome. How am I doing? I got to take the kiddo back out into the world for the first time, like for real, since the pandemic started. Masked, of course, still, but like now that he's fully vaxxed, like, oh man, we've always been very, very inseparable, he and I. And him not going to the store with me on the weekends each week has been like a thing. Like that used to be such a big part of his weekly routine, was like going to the different stores with me and like getting the food and hitting the farmer's market stuff. So just getting back into some of the routines with him this weekend was good. Yeah. Yeah, Roku. I was just telling these guys what I need is I probably need to take like a day off or something like that to actually get everything moved over. Um, just because of my schedule. That's the only thing that's kept me from just murdering Streamlabs and moving on. I could really care less that I've already paid for for the service, you know what I mean? I could really care less. I just want it to work. Um, but I just need to make a little bit of time. No, actually, I've never spoken with Scott Yeager, to my recollection anyway. He's in Portland. Ah, I would love to. Well, he hasn't been out, so it's all in an effort to kind of protect his little formative lungs and stuff, right? His whole cardiovascular system, and we have assembled a small pod, which is our access to childcare and education and everything. We have to protect the pod, right? And just taking all these little guys' lives and health very seriously. And yeah. but he is so happy. Like, man, we went out, he picked out flowers, right? Picked out like bouquets of flowers at the store. Like, we went through the whole produce area again. He was like, oh man, look at these apples. Oh, look at all these. Oh, look at these pineapples. Oh my goodness. And he has all these things at home, but like, you know, getting back out to where all the action is after not being out in it for a while. That's pretty big. Am I a podunist? Oh man, that would be awful. One of those big plastic bubbles. The only thing like that that he ever gets into is he's got these, what are they called? They're called tuffos. They're like they're like a one, how do you, it's like a rain jacket that's a onesie kind of, like you step into it. So like all of you is covered. So you can go out into the rain and splash in puddles or like roll down a hill in snow or whatever, like a warrior, and not feel any of the wet that can take you out of the game for a while. Living in Oregon, you know. I think that's really his limit with that kind of stuff. Well, it's more than a poncho. So a poncho's all flappy, right? Like this, you're actually like you zip yourself up into, so you can literally stomp or like it's like someone took the concept of like hip waders. It's not tight like a wetsuit, right? It's loose like, yeah, it's hard to describe, but I'm sure you can get a fairly decent mental image. They are like a onesie kind of. Oh. Yeah, it is. Oh, the Green Man suit. Oh my goodness. It's like a snowmobile suit. Yeah, kind of, yeah. Oh, dude, Javar, man, those bubble soccer. Oh, holy hell. Who was it? Was it you, Javar, that said that had the idea of just watching me install OBS? We could just do that. In Teletubby colors. Oh no. Oh god. I've avoided the Teletubby thing. So far anyway. That's probably it. Now that I've said that out loud. So anyway, getting back to wavetables, isn't it fascinating that we've got this thing where we can kind of bake in even like modulation and stuff into the wavetable itself? It's just like a really fascinating, awesome kind of power to have to play with, especially for sound design stuff, right? Does it make sense, the difference between render and resample, you guys? If you're using just basic functions in your warp tool, like a sync or a bend or a symmetrical or a flip or something, then you can just render that, which means you're going to kind of draw new lines, draw a new shape, if you will, and that it's going to track the changes in samples. So it's going to make that whole 1 bar length of change over time into a wavetable. It's going to take basically 256 snapshots during the course of that 1 bar amount of time. Does that make sense? And that's a render. And versus a resample. A resample, again, is bouncing the audio from the output of the synth. So it's going to include your filters, all of your modulation of various parameters. Is going to include everything in the effects rack. So you have to be kind of mindful about what you're getting. That said, these are wave files. So you can also just kind of hack this whole system mentally by bouncing stuff out to these folders and then harvesting those WAV files and using them in different ways, like as one-shots and stuff. And those are actually really powerful sound design tools as well, just those raw wavetable files. In the Serum packs that I've released before and for other synths, there's wavetables that come with all of them, which can be carried to other synths and whatnot. Same with the noise samples, which you can also use in the creation of wavetables inside of Serum. So anyway, it's a lot to take in, but the oscillator panel itself inside of Serum is just profoundly powerful. Yeah. The subathon stream. Ooh, Roku's, he likes doing long form modulations. Javar says render just spits out the waveform you see to a file, and resample does the calculations on all the operations and creates the waveform and puts the result back in a single oscillator. Well, yeah, I guess that is true. What it does is it saves the audio to your RAM. You can then save it as a wavetable, and yes, it does then render to a wave file. Yeah. Which is how you can then pack those things up, right? And you can go look at those. So we could actually go look at and listen to the ones that we just created. Let's just go do that. Show Serum presets folder. And then in here, where are my tables? It's weird. Oh, because I'm just looking inside the that's weird. Oh, gosh. I'm just an idiot today. I'm so tired. All right, so here's the ones that we bounced already today, or saved already today as wavetables. So these are wave files. Holy hell, Streamlabs. Man. Yeah, so these are, and I forget what it is. I think it's C1 or A1, and it's one bar based upon your BPM in your DAW. I believe that's what it is, I think. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. The world of resampling from wavetable synths and FM synths is just, it's got to be one of the most rewarding things ever. Truly. Truly. It's so good. Hey, Kwame. Dude, I owe you feedback. You came in right as we were rushing out the door on Friday. You still want feedback on that track? I, I felt bad because I haven't seen Damien like on stream in some time, and the raid on Friday, I'm like rushing right back out the door, and he was all muted when we first arrived. Oh, that's so funny. Stoles, it is wild, right? Just the idea of being able to build up these things in your own way, like in a way that makes sense to you, and kind of, you really got to go through the process a whole bunch of times until you really start to find some crafty ways to really cash in on all of this stuff. But I guarantee you, once you start to actually do the work of creating the wavetables and then experimenting a bit with some of them and bringing them back in and then making stuff with them, your mind will start to go in directions that it never would have gone before, because you're playing with well, you're in mad science mode, right? You're playing with your own cause and effect situations, like you're building your own what ifs, basically. And it becomes highly addictive because as soon as you start to correlate things, then the training wheels come off, and then eventually the gloves come off, and you just become very, very comfortable, and you're making sounds that literally other people aren't making, right? Or at least not the same way. So you're engaging with them in a very different way as well. And that right there is like super, super rewarding because it helps you bring things to life in ways that you hear in your head, and you might not be hearing elsewhere, which is kind of what it's all about, really. Yeah, Kwame, absolutely. Oh man, dude, Javar getting clever, making a heat map, seeing which parts of serum you're ignoring and which parts you're using a lot. Man, yeah, right. Take your brain to another dimension. Let's listen to what Kwame put up for feedback. Public feedback. All right, this one's from Kwame. This came in on Friday, right as we were walking out. All right, here we go. Sorry for the skipping, Kwame. Wow, it's like not crackles, but legit skipping now. Oh, Kwame, homie, I'm gonna give you feedback outside of stream because that's brutal. That's making your stuff skip all over the place. That's crazy, huh? We've watched this thing evolve from like just a little noise crackle to like full on skipping. Now I kind of want to know what it sounds like with something really just basic rhythm. Hold tight. Let's see here. Can't I find stuff today? I am so tired. It makes my brain hurt. You guys ever have that where you're just like so flippin' tired you have a hard time I guess even just staring at things. I am not finding these loops. Blood sacrifices. Let's go check out OBS, shall we? Streamwave. Oh, Kwame, what happened on your stream on Sunday? No, it's not Whip. It's Streamlabs, Kwame. I'm on Mac, so I don't have to worry about ASIO. No, I am not wearing the Streamlabs swag that they sent me. But you know what I'm going to do right now? Oh, look at this. Ugh, I don't want to have to go through all of this again, but I guess that's kind of what I'm about to do here, huh? Yeah, I would like to say that I like OBS more than Streamlabs. It's been a couple of years since I've used OBS. I just remember it being a bit more to manage is all, and that's it. That's, I mean, in the setup, and that's it. The Streamlabs thing was so easy to get set up just with like graphics and connecting to all of the, you know, alerts and whatnot. Yeah, it just works cleaner, right? It's like removing the middleman, so to speak. Turn on audio monitoring for each item. Come on, OBS, let's do this. Let's dance, shall we? Maybe a little bass squirrel would fix it. That'd be badass, right? That's our sound. Now, what happens to Streamlabs if I open up OBS? Let's just see if it has a little hiccup here. If it senses its imminent demise. Wait a minute. Look at this. Auto configuration wizard. What? What? Yeah, sure. Go ahead and optimize for streaming. Let's see what happens when you do this. Our question is should I actually use what I'm using? Or is it going to make it too small for everybody? We're about to find out. Wow, it's actually going to configure everything for me, huh? Hey, Foss is here. Sorry, I don't have alerts right now, so I don't mean to ignore you guys who just came in. Foss, you're here. How are you? Oh, and a party of 6. Well, welcome in, guys. How's the stream? How's Tendril? Lord Helmet, welcome in. I've reached my breaking point with Streamlabs, and they're crackles and skips and stuff. Becky, I'm seeing you say it again, and it just makes me just as happy as it did, like hearing it like 10, 15 minutes ago. I'm so glad you're feeling good right now. Scream Labs. Yes, that is exactly it. Oh, I love the emoji. Lord Helmet, this is great. Build bot things and recorded a bunch. Situation normal. Becky, yeah. I love Spaceballs. You've been jammed. Oh, okay. Connect account. Recommended. Use stream key. Oh, let's see here. Let's just connect my account really quick here. Well, my name is OhmLab. Thank you for asking. And let's see here. I'm looking for Twitch. Let's see. What is the most recent Twitch? There we go. And another password. There we go. Man, what a time we live in. This is so many different, oh, you don't allow paste? Really? Wow, OBS. We live in an age where we have to like have so many different passwords. 6. And when you can't paste, you actually kind of feel the pain of it. I'm so used to just having the, hey, yes, please. The magic. Enter the code. Oh, another code. Oh, come on. All right, what's this code? Okay, OBS says, cool. Yeah, sure, you can estimate my bandwidth, even though I'm streaming right now. That's actually probably a pretty good benchmark. Look at that pretty snow. Receive keystrokes. Yeah, sure. Let's just grant it access to the whole mothership, shall we? We're connecting to Seattle, Washington for a bandwidth test. Hey, Cody Buddy's in the house. Welcome in. You've been jammed. Oh, man. Yeah, I remember the TV game show Password. Absolutely. We can put a man on the moon, but we can't paste into OBS. Ooh, it's testing different frame rates. Look at it testing. Wow. It's amazing. Oh, Becky. You're awesome. You're awesome. I'm so glad that things are doing better. Oh, hey, look, it's already picking up my mic. Glorious, glorious, glorious. What did it determine for me? It said the program has determined that these estimated settings are ideal for you. I should use the San Francisco server for Twitch, apparently. Output. Yeah, I should probably run this again when I'm not already streaming, because it's telling me that my scaled resolution output would best be set at 853 by 480 with a base canvas resolution of 5120 by 2880. Huh. Click apply settings to reconfigure the wizard and try again. Interesting. Well, that was actually pretty quick, this auto configuration wizard. Oh no, an 80 character code by hand? Oh, dude, 3 separate 80 character codes by hand? Oh, man. Oh, dude. It's downloading my hard drive. Yeah, I don't know, Beck. I was thinking about it. I'm like on the verge of just doing it. It sounds very boring to me. These are your very best settings, and you're in autumn. Man. How do we handle a company like Streamlabs as customers these days? People have tried like you know, like boycotting or changing or whatever. They're still quite popular. It doesn't really seem like they're paying attention to much of what people are saying, and their main user base are people that connect with the world. So I'm kind of wondering, like, how do we handle the Streamlabs thing, like as streamers? I've been thinking about this, you know, like them sending me stuff, and it's nice of them to say nice things. It's not nice of them to not hear my feedback and act upon it. I know they have millions of users, I'm sure. So start OBS and restart the stream. Oh, wait. Then the company starts to take notice, right? Yeah, it's just hard. It's just hard as audio folks with most of these things anyway, because there are so many different things to troubleshoot for as developers. That's why Mac only stuff is always so stable for Mac users, because they really only have to worry about the different versions of the operating system, not anything else. Well, not as much anyway. Well, if this is really the only thing, then I might run with this and go back and change the output scaled resolution afterwards. So maybe I'll do that. Yeah, let's apply these settings. And whoa, look at that. It's already, it's found some chat. I'll just put that there. Hey, look at that. It's already looking at, it's over here. So I guess I'm going to have to start adding sources here, huh? All right, well, if this is going to be, let's say this is my How do I rename this? Rename. Okay. So what if we call this my main scene? Let's make a scene. All right, now let's add a source. Let's call this the audio input capture. Make source visible, sure. And we'll just call this Mike. Oops, Mike. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Oh, wait, no, they already have a mic. Hold on a second. I guess that's my bad. Well, that one says mic and aux. So what is aux? And can I delete aux? Oh, and there's desktop audio right there. So we don't even need anything else. Can I delete this? How do I do that? Configuration gear. Let's say mic aux advanced. That's our properties list here. Device. Properties for mic aux, huh? Okay, well then I guess I'll just delete this one. Yep, I'll go ahead and delete that. And this guy will just set as the mic aux. We'll call it mic. And on mic, we will make this. It's weird that I can't delete that. I guess it's got to have something, maybe? Is that what they're thinking? And we'll just put this here. Check, check, check. Check 1, check 2. That looks good. And if we put a filter on here, can it be a limiter? Hey, look at that. There's a limiter. Sure, we'll even call it limiter. And we'll just put the threshold at what? Let's just bump this up a bit here. And desktop audio. Let's do that. Desktop audio. Let's go into properties. I don't want it to be just black hole, but okay, that's fine. Check 1, check 2. Shall we play a sound and see if it does something for us? It's working. How about that? Okay, now what happens when we go into Logic? And back to OBS. It works. Just that easy. Okay. That's nice. So I've got my audio and I've got my mic. Let's add another source, shall we? We can do a display capture. And we'll just call this desktop. Or actually, let's call this display 1. Yeah, sure, go for it. Oh, okay. Well, then, if you insist, you just close the dockable window if you like to show it again. I think it's going to pop back up. Zero glitch. Wait a minute. Are you saying that running OBS in the background of Streamlabs has fixed our audio issue? Is that what you're saying right now? Huh. And if I come over here and I play... No, it's glitching. I think. Yeah, it's it's glitching. It's got a weird delay thing that's been added. Glorious. Limity McLimiter. Is there? Oh, I love that there's a bunch of people out there in the universe that have the same kind of sense of humor as me. Oh, OhmLab's OBS speed run. Oh boy, yeah. Have someone that hasn't opened OBS in a few years set it up, huh? All right. Well, look at that. It sees me. Yeah, we can check for them. Don't install them, please. I'm fine if you check. But you have to recognize my click. My authority! Why don't you like my click? Seriously? Come on, OBS. What can we do about that? Okay, so I've said yes. Can you? Well, OBS, this doesn't look good for you right now. Seriously. Like, what's going on here? Oh, OBS. Come on now. Let's not be like that. Let's start off on a better foot. Check automatically, please. Oh, come on. How about... Yeah, let's save those changes. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Of course, I can't use OBS until I can get past that window. Come on. There we go. And now if we go back here, we turn that back on. Okay. Great. Okay, so we've got a main scene. And we've got a display. And I guess we could put my face in there. So let's do that. What is that? Media source, maybe? Let's see here. Image, scene, video capture device. There we go. Video capture device. Let's say this is camera. 1. Device. Sure, you can use that. Hi! Hey, it's me. Wow, so it's recommending that my webcam be 720 and my output be 480. Silly, silly. Okay, so I usually have me over here. Something like that, maybe. So you guys can still see the screen and stuff. I think I used to crop this, didn't I? Or something? There we go. That's the hotkey I'm looking for. And square that up there. That kind of looks like it belongs there. Cool. Recursive OhmLab. Okay, what else do we need to put in here? We need to put in, for those just deciding to join us and watch this madness, I am so sick and tired of all of the issues with Streamlabs audio. Then we just downloaded OBS, so. And this does look pretty good, but I must say, I mean, it's on my screen, so I'm not sure that that's a fair test. Let's go change that really quick. Output would be, let's see here, preferences, output. it says 48. It has no problem with that. And interesting that I don't get... Recordings cannot be paused if the recording quality is set to same as stream. Recording quality same as stream. Oh. Well, it definitely can't be same as stream. And MP4 is fine. Recording saved to MP4 MOV will be unrecoverable if the file cannot be finalized as a result of BSODs, power losses, etc. If you want to record multiple audio tracks, consider using MKV and remix the recording. We'll see. We'll see. I don't like that it's not showing me. I guess that we have to go into advanced to see. Interesting. Yeah, it doesn't actually give me the option of output quality. Interesting. Oh, ignore streaming service setting. No, that's not it. Weird. Oh, here it is. Under video, of course. Jeez. Let's just check this. I guess we're gonna have to do some tests. I don't like the wonky ratio there. Yeah, I think we'll just have to do a couple of quick tests. Hey, Emma's Mia's here. How you doing? Oh, I'm not live. I'm not live on OBS. I'm live on Streamlabs right now. I'm just, it's funny, you know, struggling with the Streamlabs audio. You can watch people like come in and then drop off because they get tired of the crackles or whatever. But if you say you're kicking Streamlabs to the curb and you're setting up OBS, all of a sudden people stick around, and that is absolutely hilarious to me. I love the way that our geek brains work. Truly. Okay, so we've got a camera and we've got our display. I've got voice in here, so we're actually doing pretty well. I don't need mic all the way up or desktop audio all the way up. And I'll probably put a limiter there. So filter and then add and then limiter and then limiter. And that's fine. Just no clipping. Scene transitions, fade, controls. Well, I guess the next thing media source. What can be a media source? Can I bring in, let's see here. I guess I would bring in alerts and stuff through a media source, right? We'll rename this in a minute. Local file, bruise. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, see, this is the part that takes the long time. This is the part, like setting up all of our triggers and stuff. This is why I would just like to take a day off and maybe just set this up. Right, I'm correct in that, right? We do have to set each one of those up independently, right? Oh, their browser source. Their browser source. Okay, hold on a sec. Browser. Oh, of course they are. Of course they are. So we can say alerts. Yeah, so I'm going to go in and I guess probably borrow ones that I've set up with Streamlabs already. Oh, and Dremia's here, and you rated with Party of 10. I'm sorry, folks. I don't have alerts set up right now. Well, I do have alerts set up, but they're not playing. And Streamlabs is causing a bit of havoc. So we're going to kick Streamlabs to the curb and maybe send a note, a nice note to them when I send back their swag if I do that. How was your stream, Andremia? Thank you for joining us, by the way. I appreciate you, homie. You have a good weekend? Set the URL to the page you'd like to display. Got it. Got it. Okay, so that is what this is. And I'm going to go grab one of mine. Let's see here. This is board alerts. Alerts. Wait, there's so many. So very many. All right, you alert box. Let's do this. Source, background. Okay, I actually have to go into the website to get all of this stuff. Can't just grab it from the application. Ahoy! Some of this stuff I can show on here. Alert box. Well, alert box. Here you go. Yes. Yes. Copy, please. Do not share this. Got it. Okay, let me just bring this up here. Set this here. Okay, and my alert box is kind of around here somewhere. Can we test alerts in OBS? I remember being able to do this before. You had fun with masking tape today. That's cool. Modulate the camera. Apricity, welcome in. Patch isn't welcome in. Shadow Fungi, welcome back, dude. Oh, is anyone playing Elden Ring? I'm just getting getting caught up on the chat here. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, Foss, that's what I was just testing. That actually makes it quite easy. Just being able to copy right over. That's wonderful. How is there a way? Wouldn't it be great if I could take a scene like this? Ooh, wouldn't that be cool? If I could just copy an entire scene. All right, chat box. Already got. Cam got. All right, we'll get us starting soon. Let's do that. Actions. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. All right, so we got audio capture, right? And then starting soon. Background. Easy peasy. Let's get all of these. Record. That's the one. Local file. Oh, excellent. Okay, and this is a media source, I believe. Oops. Application support. Right. Slobs and client. Okay, I'm gonna go find some of my graphics here. Let's see. Okay. Library. Do 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 do. Oops. Overlays. I actually don't see this. How many of you have made the move from Streamlabs back over to OBS? And how many of you were able to get it done while all the shenanigans were going on, when we were finding out that it wasn't actually like a sanctioned project or whatever? Server hard disks. Oh, come now. is. And it's under slobs. Where are you, users library? Support slobs. Client. Oops. Client overlays. Overlays, and it is this guy. Oh, geez. Okay, so it's that guy. And that's where I have to point to. Okay, so I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to add a media source. And this will be, oh shoot, which one is this? This is starting, I think. Starting soon. Starting soon background, yes. Okay, and now this goes here. And then, sure. Okay, so we're gonna go to oh snap, you know what? How do you override the, oops, shoot, how do you override the hiding of the library when you're browsing through? Their app window. Shoot, I'm gonna have to toggle that off, aren't I? Oh man, there are so many little hoops. They cut my audio. Wait a minute. Did they really? They cut my audio. You guys weren't hearing me. Those bastards. Oh, I have to test the alert on the Streamlab website. I see. You gotta love the slim setup. Mine is actually really slim because I only have to find these couple of things. But the thing is that the OBS, take care, Foss. Thanks for coming in. OBS Finder browser dialog window, like where it is asking you to select the file that you're trying to browse to, it doesn't allow you to see the support library. So now I'm just trying to figure out how to get around that so I can actually point to the right place. Or maybe I don't have to. I know. I'll just copy it out of there. Yay. All right, so let's just make a new directory somewhere. Let's just say that this is going to be like, here. And just put this in as OBS, I guess. And inside of OBS, okay, inside of OBS, we can have a folder called starting soon background. And there I can take and boom, copy that over. And then inside of OBS, Starting soon background. Yes, yes, yes. I'll go to properties, please. And then over here, I can just go to there it is. So we're going to choose this one. And loop it, right? Let's check it here. Great. Okay, checking something really quick. You're gonna lose my mic for a sec. Okay, so getting back to that loop and restart playback so it becomes active, yes, and close file when inactive, yes. Playback ends. Sure, there we go. And we'll say okay. Hey, look at that. Okay, so I've got that figured out at least, so we can set up our starting soon scene. Cool. And then we can I copy this over? Copy and paste. Boom, there it is. Okay, cool. And then I can I just use that for all of them? I could probably use that for all of them, right? Why not? Maybe we could just rename this. That's what I'll do. I'll just rename this. We'll just call this record player. All right, and back in here, we don't need that. Cool. So we'll copy that again, and we'll just say, here's another scene, and this one is going to be called Be Right Back. And we'll paste that one in there, and then we'll start another one called Stream Ending. And we'll add that in there. Boom. Okay, so just scale these out really quick. And start soon. And then we could just do the same for these other guys over here. Okay, now let's have the next thing on there. You might lose my audio for just a sec here. Ooh, how can I get all of these? Can I? Let's see here. This is No, I didn't think so. Not that lucky. I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we could copy and paste between programs, but we can't. So, do this the difficult way. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is just a regular. Great. Yeah, this is just going to take a long time to set up a fair number of these things, because for like my social pay, or like these start and be right back and ending soon pages, they each have a social icon and then a word next to it, right? And then each one of those things is its own thing. I'm creating everything in one new directory. So this is going to be record player background. And I'm going to put in social icons. Easy enough. And we're just going to bring each one of these over. And that one is in Discord logo white. There it is, Discord logo white. I'm going to copy that over here. Disco. And next. Boy, this is seriously a process. And I wish all of these things weren't embedded in various private places on a hard drive here, so y'all could see it a little bit better. And that's just text. That's easy to add. That's easy to add. What's this one? SoundCloud. Oh man, why is this one? Okay. This one too is in a private library folder, so let's go find that. Right. Perfect. Overlays, B2. 177. 177. Holy crap. That's what all these PNG files are? Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to copy this over. What else do I have up here? Social. Okay, here's the next one. And this is number 168. There we go. Copy this over. And just hunting down social icons here from Streamlabs, and I'm almost done with it. There we go. 149. Uh, 149. 149. There it is. Okay, we're gonna copy that one over too. Groovy. Okay, so now I've got our social icons, and I can then place them here. So we're going to say these were all, I think, media source. So let's just Twitter. And we're going to browse. And I'm going to go to that folder that I just created. Oh, and we should rename these. Oh, because I can't preview them. Damn it. Of course not. That would be far too easy. Okay, this one's Twitter. And this one is Facebook. And SoundCloud. Okay, and that's Discord. Cool. Here we go. OBS. We will say this one. Hold on a second. Is there like an image option, not media source? Oh, image right there. Sweet. Okay, so we'll call this one Twitter then. Cool. Oh, come on. Yeah, we'll just take that out. All right, so we're going to add, can we add a group? Socials. Oh, that's great. Okay, so within the socials now, can we add a one called Twitter? Cool. Okay. And then can I put that in there? Yeah. Okay, let's add another one. We'll call this one Discord. Sweet. And we'll add another one. Image. Facebook. And SoundCloud. This could end up being some kind of a speedrun kind of thing, huh? Okay, so what order are these usually in for me? Okay, let's put these pictures in. We're going to go to properties. I'm just going to find this. This one is SoundCloud. So we'll hit that. We'll say okay. And Discord. Discord, where are you? Done. Okay, Twitter. Facebook. Facebook. Okay, so we've got these 4 guys. Let's get... Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, so we've got Discord here. And we've got Twitter here. And Facebook. Oh, that one's like tethered to the thingy. Huh. Weird. And where's our SoundCloud? SoundCloud's here. Okay, cool. Oh, I see. Okay. So one of these needs to be up top and the other one needs to be down below, I guess. Okay. All right, now where did I have these in my other stream? They're actually pretty small. And SoundCloud can be first. And then Discord. And lastly, Facebook. And then I think I had this whole thing kind of zoomed in a little bit. Okay, and I've got all these brought over. Just a touch. And then I had some text in there. So I guess I gotta add those. Oh, cool. That's easy. So we'll call this Twitter. What? What? Twitter text? Twitter text. Okay. And we'll just say Twitter. I don't need that. I need... That's what I need. Oh, and I should use the right kind of font too while I'm in there. Twitter text, properties, select font, light. That's better. And then we're going to do the next one, which is going to be text, and it will be, I'm pretty sure it's just OhmLab for the rest of these. And we'll go with the light again. And oh, this should be rename. This should be Discord text. And then there should be another one. And it should be SoundCloud text. And lastly, the question is what are we going to do when we gather again? Is it going to be more of this? Or are we going to get back to production stuff? That's the question. All right, so this then comes down here. Let's see if we can get our spacing right. They do feel a little odd. Discord. SoundCloud. Okay, so I guess if we put all of these into this folder, then we should be able to take the entirety of this and do this. And then we can copy this and we can put it into here. Paste. Cool. So I've almost got those scenes built. How about that? Squirrel with an OhmLab hoodie. We do need a picture of a squirrel. Important. We really do. We're still setting up OBS. Yep. In fact, actually, I should go see who's streaming right now and drop you guys off somewhere because I've just eaten up the last half hour of our stream by setting up OBS scenes. But hey, maybe we're on our way to having better audio. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see, perhaps. All right, let's see here. Let me go over to my browser here. And we'll just refresh this. We'll revisit some more wavetable stuff soon, you guys. Make up for ditching out on part of the lesson stuff today. And Kwame, we'll have to get you some feedback on that track. Without all the crackling and skipping and stuff. Let's go send some love to Stolas. He's still working on affiliate, I believe. We'll return the favor. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for bearing with all of the Streamlabs shenanigans and watching me set up OBS today. I know it was not our original plan, but it is what it is. And no, Kwame, you absolutely did not. You absolutely did not cause this. But I will see you guys on the flip. Let's go say hi to Stolas and see what he's up to. I'll see you guys on the flip. Peace out. Oh, it's telling me that there was a small hiccup. Now I will see you guys later.